N'Keal Harry was an absolute steal at 32. What are you guys talking about? Forget Tom Brady's passing numbers. He's the GOAT because he was the best punter in the NFL. I take Johnny Hekker over Patrick Mahomes to be my quarterback any day.
Welcome to the No Punt Intended Sportscast with your host, Parody 07.
Welcome back to the No Punt Intended Sportscast. I'm your boy, Guy, and I'm back here with, as always, the Dawgs. This episode of the No Punt Intended Sportscast is brought to you by Prozac, a depression medicine for those who are 1 and 4 and below. So, welcome. Now that that's out of the way.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, some of us don't know.
I do. I know what you're talking about. 0 and 5, man. I need a double dose of that crap.
Yes, sir.
Brought to you by BetterHelp.
Right. But yeah, it's week 5 that we're talking about this week. And I think it's about that time of year where the teams, for the most part, have kind of made their mark on the season as far as what type of team they're going to be. At this point, you know, there's the teams that are like the fringe teams are going to, you know, those are your 3 and 2, 2 and 3 teams. You have your like substantially really good teams, you know, that's your undefeated teams and your 5 and 1, 4 and 1 teams and that sort of thing. And then, you know, the grime at the bottom of the barrel, you know, the leftover grains of coffee at the bottom, you know, the 1 and 4s, the 0 and 5s, or the fake teams that are 2 and 3 that everybody knows aren't that good.
Like the Bengals?
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. That's a hot take.
Yeah, right. The Bengals is the only team in the NFL that I have no clue about. So,
yeah.
So outside of the Bengals, I think pretty much every team has been put into their rankings, especially after that 49ers Cowboys game. I think that kind of showed where, I think not so much where the Cowboys are, I think more so how good the 49ers are. So congratulations to them. They're 5 and 0 and have beat some pretty good teams. So good for Brock Purdy, McCaffrey, Kittle, and the boys over there. You know, the big boy Bosa over there eating.
Yeah.
But obviously we talked about kind of the bottom of the barrel and then the class of the NFL. And I was kind of hoping that by this time of year, we were talking about the mediocrity of the New England Patriots. And we're not talking about the mediocrity of the Patriots today. Mediocrity would be a significant improvement. So we'll get to that later. But for now, as always, we're going to start with our boy LB. And I'm sorry, buddy. This is your 3rd or 4th soapbox that you've had to stack up. The ladder that you use to get up on the top is getting longer and longer. But man, I'm sorry, but you got to talk about them. Let's hear about your Carolina Panthers, and if you end up with the number 1 pick, how are you going to go about? Or, well, you may not end up with the number 1 pick, but the Bears are pretty bad too. So if you get a top 5 pick, where are you going with it?
Well, the good news is the way I keep stacking this ladder up, when I jump off it at the end of the season, my death will be relatively quick and pain-free.
That's true.
As opposed to this disastrous Carolina Panthers team. It's awful, bro. It's awful. My silver lining for the next, 12 weeks of the season or what have you is going to be how accurately I can predict how bad Carolina loses. This past week, I predicted Carolina would lose 38-23. We lost 42-24. So that's my silver lining. I'm happy with that. Obviously, don't like the loss, but I consider that a moral victory for myself.
There you go.
Because, I have to have something to look forward to because the Carolina Panthers are dog water. So if we want to get to the good, the bad, and the coaching for them, the central theme is there is no good, obviously. We've got Adam Thielen, who's a dog, and we only gave up 1 sack on the game to the Lions. So that's the good. That's it. We got beat 42-24. Nothing's going our way. We had 3 turnovers, which is obviously the bad. And those 3 turnovers, 2 were interceptions, Bryce threw, and 1 was a fumble Miles Sanders lost. And those 3 turnovers led to 21 points for the Lions. While I'm on the subject of Miles Sanders, who, by the way, signed a 4-year, $25.4 million contract this offseason, has more lost fumbles than he does touchdowns on the year.
Oof.
He has 2 lost fumbles and 1 touchdown. So, hey, good for you for getting your money, but you're screwing us, and you're trash. So make that dude ride the pine. He's awful. The more bad, because there's no shortage of it. We had 7 penalties, 45 yards on this week game against the Lions. On the season, we have 41 penalties for 308 yards, which is leading the NFL. Again, clock management continues to be horrible. Frank Reich is not doing his job and putting Bryce in a position to succeed. We're not disciplined. We had a 4th and 1 chance to get off the field on defense, and of course, our guy jumps the snap. We give him a free play, and they complete like a 25-yard ball. So again, can't have that. And the coaching going forward, Thomas Brown needs to take over the play calling. Frank Reich, you're 0-5. You're god awful. I'm sorry, pal. Just not working out. Worry about managing timeout since you can't even do that correctly. We can't even get in and out of the huddle, with more than 12 seconds on the play clock. And that's another reason why we continue to burn timeouts is because we can't even get freaking lined up. We had an illegal formation, illegal shift. I mean, come on. We can't even line up to run a play properly.
Jeez.
So figure that out, bro. The coaching continued. We need to use personnel better. I would say put Chenault at running back and slot more, get him some more touches because Miles Sanders has been horrible. Put that dude on right bench and let him stay there. He can, bring Waters over for the boys, but that's about it. Don't let him carry the rock because he's got fumble problems, I guess. Let Chuba take the first team reps at running back going forward. He seems to get the most production out of the guys we have on the roster. And then let's go tempo on offense. We had some success against the Lions where we're playing in rhythm and we're up on the ball. Defense is on their heels. We're not subbing. And I think that's the way we're going to need to go forward. Also, I think there's too many cooks in the kitchen in Carolina. We need to really simplify this offense, at least the play calling, because we can't get lined up. We can't give Bryce a chance to process at the line of scrimmage before we even run the play. That's, leading to our penalty issues, with the pre-snap penalties, whether it's false start, delay a game, all that good stuff. So I'd say let Thomas Brown take over the offensive play calling and then just have your quarterback coach, Josh McCown, talking to Bryce. Let him do the, the sole line of communication. Simplify it. We're 0-5. We're going to go get our brakes blown off at Miami. So that's that. But there's more.
Uh-oh.
1 year ago today, fellas, was the happiest day in my recent fandom of the Carolina Panthers.
Oh?
1 year ago today, the Carolina Panthers fired Matt Rule.
That's
so hey, who knows? Maybe Frank Reich is going to get canned today.
Jeez, you're already calling for his head?
No, I'm not. I want him to play the whole season as the head coach. I want him to, be the guy. Because again, we're 0-5. Who's going to step in? I don't know who that replacement is. If he stays as head coach, I know who could, call the offense. That's Thomas Brown. But I don't know who's going to be the interim head coach. So just stick with Frank Reich. Let us go whatever we end up. But, let's let Thomas Brown start calling the plays. I mean, he's the offensive coordinator for a reason. Let him loose. And like I said, you're 0-5, man. Like, maybe you go one more week and see what you do against the Dolphins. But if we're winless after the bye and then staring down a good Texans team at home, let's let Thomas Brown, take that second half of the season and see what we can do. Because right now, we're not doing anything well. And like I said, we've got nothing to lose. and nothing to gain either because we traded away our first round pick to get, Bryce Young. So it's not even like we have a silver lining. Oh, if we go defeated, we get a good pick. Nope. Our organization's trash. It's a joke. It's the worst run, quote unquote, professional team in all of sports, in my opinion, at least in this last 5-year stretch. So it's a disaster.
Goodness.
I mean, the one good thing I think that comes from the Panthers has been Adam Thielen stepping up.
Yeah, Adam Thielen's a dog.
Like he's had like 330 yards in the last 3 games. Like,
yeah, and I'm happy about that.
Yeah,
and, like,
so like he's been doing pretty well actually, which
yeah,
which is cool to see.
Yeah.
I cut him from my fantasy team way too early.
That's all right, man. That's probably a smart move. I didn't play DJ Moore last week because I thought Justin Fields was trash, and then apparently Justin Fields decided to play well.
Yeah, I know. I think he was listening to our podcast, and
he must have.
Maybe
he must have heard that. I gave him section.
Bulletin board material.
Right.
No, but the one thing about Adam Thielen I'm happy about is, the outset of the season going in, we had our predictions about, player stat lines or whatever. And I think Adam Thielen's on track to go over 1,000 yards and be at that 10 touchdown mark. So if that's the case, hey, I'll be super happy with my
He's got basically
going in.
Yeah, he's basically got 400 yards right now. So he would be on track to get basically over like 1,300 yards. So he's this could be one of his best seasons, actually.
Yeah. So I'm happy
he actually
about that.
could. Like he could get close to like getting the most yards he's ever had, if it kind of continues. So
amazing what happens when you're the dog in the room.
Yeah.
The only dog.
Yeah, right.
So I'm really happy to see that because he's been in the league for a long time now. So
yeah.
Cool to see.
Yeah, and he always seemed like second fiddle to somebody else. First it was, Stephon Diggs, and then it was Justin Jefferson. And it's like, man, he's like Juju, he's just the benefit of good players around him. And he has been the exact opposite of Juju, which is, a good player. So,
yeah.
So, we're thoughts and prayers with your Panthers, man. I guess what we're hoping for is that the Bears are just as bad so that your pick ends up still being a high pick, even though how you do is irrelevant for that.
Yeah, that's the silver lining, I guess, is if hopefully Chicago will go 1-16, and maybe Carolina can go 2-15.
Right. Yeah,
so we'll see.
Yeah, then you can get Marvin Harrison Jr. and somebody else.
We need all the help we can get.
Yeah, for sure. And Brock Bowers. Can you imagine?
Hey, if that's the case, you go all in, but you're going to have to give up 3 or 4 first-round picks for over the next 3 seasons to get to that position. So
maybe.
Who knows?
We'll see.
I mean, the Rams did it, and they won a Super Bowl doing that. They said, F the picks.
Yeah, they did.
They went and got studs.
They did.
It can happen. I have no confidence in the organization, especially with Scott Fitter, the GM.
Jeez.
David Tepper, who hasn't had a winning season since taking over ownership in 2018. And now break off to a whopping 0-5 start.
Jeez.
Yep.
We're gonna do a depression sandwich. It would I guess we'll call it a positive sandwich with depression bread. I think is the way we're gonna do it because it's Panthers, Chiefs, Pats. So, Mr. Hound, let's hear your take on the Chiefs beating old Kirko Cousins in another 1-score game.
Yeah. Hey, I didn't exactly predict that game correctly. I thought there'd be a few more scores, but I did predict it'd be a 1-score game. So
you did.
I didn't think it would be like a blowout either way. But anyways, so the good is our pass defense. What really was great is that we held Justin Jefferson to only 28 yards and 3 catches. So if you can do that
and
to Justin
hamstring.
Jefferson,
and
the hamstring,
yeah,
but that came out in just the last 2 drives. So we held him to 28 yards in 3 full quarters. I'm pretty happy with that. I think any team would take that. Since I think he was leading the league in pass receiving yards. So into this game, I believe, if not pretty close. So yeah, I'm happy with those fellas. We still can't figure out how to get an interception. We're really bad with getting takeaways on defense.
But you're getting batted balls, though.
But we're getting batted balls. We're not, allowing too much. We allowed 20 points, which isn't amazing, but some of that was just, a lot of a lot of penalties called on us. Our guys need to be better on that. Anyways, pass offense was better this week. Mahomes threw for 31 out of 41 passes, 281 yards. He looked pretty good. No interceptions. Basically threw what the defense gave him, which is what he's needed to do. And it worked pretty well. Justin Ross, the wide receiver that I've been positive about, had a few nice catches. And what's been really nice this entire season has been our pass blocking. We've only allowed 4 sacks this entire season. So you cannot be disappointed with that. We did allow 2 sacks in this game, though. So that's not, 2 sacks isn't that bad, but 4 sacks on the season is great.
Especially giving up 2 sacks to a team that pressures as much as the Vikings. That's not bad, man.
That's kind of
like 5.
That's their whole defensive philosophy. We won't defend anything, but we'll pressure you and just hope you make a mistake. It's kind of their philosophy. The bad, wasn't a whole lot of bad, really, even though it was it's a close game. There wasn't a ton of bad, but one player on the Chiefs that I have been so done with has been Clyde Edwards-Helaire. We drafted him, I think it's been close to 4 years now, because I think he's in his 4th season with us.
Okay.
We drafted him in the first round. Everyone thought he was going to be a great running back, and he just hasn't manifested into that. We've got Isaiah Pacheco, who's been doing great. Everyone loves seeing him run. And in the first quarter, on the very first drive even, we ran Isaiah Pacheco, pretty commonly in this game. But then in the second quarter, for some reason, we were like, no, let's not do that. Let's just run Clyde Edwards-Helaire and see what he can do. And we did see what he could do. He carried the ball 3 times for 4 yards. So, not great. This entire season, he is averaging 3.3 yards per carry. And if you take away his longest run, because, they can sometimes pad out the actual stats, he's averaging 2.8 yards per carry. So the Chiefs just need to, step away, realize that he's not going to be an answer for any sort of run offense. You need to stick with Isaiah Pacheco and Jerick McKinnon and kind of test away Clyde Edwards-Helaire to the bench. So anyways, the other bad, and more it's bad for my own mental health and stress, is the refs. Because again, another week, another 1,000 people on Twitter complaining about the refereeing in a Chiefs game. This week, they complained about how the referees picked up a pass interference penalty that was called against the Chiefs, and also a helmet penalty because one of our players took off their helmet while on the field. And they're like, the refs didn't call either of these. They should have. So obviously, this is evidence of the referees rigging it for the Chiefs. And again, I'm not here to say that those calls or non-calls didn't benefit the Chiefs. Obviously, they do. That's the whole purpose of penalties being called or not called. But again, it's just an example of people who don't see the full game and only seeing one play and being like, wow, the referees are just giving the game away. When if you look at the stat sheet in the Vikings game, the Vikings got called for 4 penalties and the Chiefs got called for 10 penalties in that game. There was one drive where the Vikings scored a touchdown where they gained more yards due to Chiefs penalties than they did on their own offense. So again, why I say this is a bad thing, it's bad for my mental health because I get tilted at all of the people who just keep repeating this nonsense. Again, I'm not denying that it doesn't help the Chiefs. Obviously, they do. But it's rigged, it's scripted. Really? That's insane. It's insane. It's also I don't think they really care if the Chiefs win or lose, especially when Taylor Swift isn't at the game. Like, here's my thing. If you're going to rig it, wouldn't the better storyline be that the Chiefs lose a game when Taylor Swift is not in the stadium?
That's true.
That would be a pretty fun storyline. So anyways, I just get tired of that. It's, but I mean, it happens to whichever teams are winning, that's just kind of like how it goes, So, in coaching, Matt Nagy said the day after the game that with the wide receivers, we're still going to do a wide receiver by committee approach and not really have like a solidified number 2, but rather have like 5 receivers who are going to get like 2 catches each. Which, I mean, it's fine. It worked against the Vikings. And again, unless this player steps up, that's kind of what you have to do. You can't really force a player to be good. You just kind of have to let it happen. It's like if a player does become good, they'll get more opportunities. But if they don't, you just kind of like distribute it around. So yeah, anyways, that's my good, bad in the coaching for this week.
Very good.
Very sad. No Taylor Swift at the game.
She was there in our hearts. She was there in our hearts. So,
and
Donna Kelsey, I think, was there though, right? So that allows for.
I'm not sure.
No, maybe
they never really. They never really talked.
Kelsey was at the Jets game. He was in the box suites, man.
Yeah,
watching her
she was on the field.
Maybe Taylor was with her.
Zach was with her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh man,
Zach Wilson is a pretty boy. To be fair, so
he's a dog.
That is fair.
Yeah, on that front,
BYU.
Yeah. Yep. So, and another thing I wanted to mention, because I saw that penalty that you're talking about live. My understanding of how that works, and I might be a little incorrect on this, but I'm pretty sure this is the way that would go. The penalty for the pass interference, again, just like you said, you kind of have to look at the game as the whole of how close they were calling the game. I'm sure they were kind of letting them play because they usually let two good teams play, like when they have good offenses on both sides of the ball. They kind of let the offense and the defense play a little bit. They're not trying to stop the game a bunch and throw a bunch of flags on for pass interference unless it's blatant.
Yeah,
and that really wasn't blatant. It was just one of those things where
that's my thing. It's like one of those. It's like I've seen that called as pass interference, and I've seen that not called as pass interference.
Exactly. Really. So that I didn't have very much of a problem with.
Now, obviously, him taking off his helmet
absolutely should have been a penalty. However, that does not give. My understanding is that doesn't give the Vikings a first down. What that does is it puts the Chiefs back. It moves them back 15 yards, and it's still 1st and 10 for them. It's not like it's 1st and 25. It's 1st and 10 just from 15 yards back, which doesn't change how the game ends. So,
and actually, it could have maybe even help the Chiefs
right.
if their offense, because it would have moved us back to probably the 14 or 15 because we were at I think the 29.
Mm-hmm.
So it would have been half the distance. Anyways, because what happens, we got a first down, I believe, and then we punted.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens, our punter kicked too far and into the end zone.
Right.
So being back 15 yards may have been better for our punter, in all honesty, for field position, but that's neither here nor there. It probably wouldn't have changed that much.
Right. Well, time for me to talk about my New England Patriots.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear this.
I'm going to break the show a little bit, and I'm just going to read some stats for you guys. I'm just going to do it that way because I can't be bothered. We have 98 rushing yards over the past 2 games combined. We have 3 points and no touchdowns over the past 32 offensive drives. In the past 2 games, while our offense is on the field, we are getting outscored 21-3.
Oh, that's a very funny stat, actually.
6 points in 6 points in 10 quarters. And yesterday, or excuse me, on Sunday, there was 46% pressure rate given up with minimal blitzing.
Wow.
Our team is negative. We are -6 in turnover ratio over the past 2 games. And Belichick decided in week 5 after our 34-0 loss against the New Orleans Saints that it's time to restart. And
what does that mean?
some people think
You would never say
that. Some people think that means Bailey Zappi is back. I don't know about you guys. If you saw any of his plays the last 2 weeks, he's missing wide open receivers.
Oh yeah,
and some of Mac's Mac got picked off twice, and one of the interceptions was not his fault. It was literally a perfect throw to Ty Montgomery, and Ty Montgomery kind of bobbled it, and then just decided that he would hand it off to the Saints to see how fast that they can run. So I guess he wanted to play catch.
Yeah.
If I was a New England beat writer or somebody who was able to go to the press conference and ask for questions, I would be asking Bill when he expects Marcus Jones back, because putting him on offense will give us better tackling for when we throw an interception so that we can give up less pick sixes. So that would be my question to Bill. As far as what we can do different, I mean, it all starts with running the ball. Just straight up. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. Our running backs are not fast. They're power backs. And in order for them to really have an impact on the game, you have to run them several times. And they need to be the offensive line needs to get enough push to where when they're making first contact, that's, 2-3 yards down the field, past the line of scrimmage. And Ramondre Stevenson, who's the better of our backs, is averaging, I think, 2.8 yards a carry right now. Yes,
wow.
2.8.
Oh,
yes.
That's some Clyde Edwards-Helaire numbers right there.
Yeah, Zeke is a little better at 3.8, but 4 is usually where you want to be.
Yeah.
Our best rusher as far as per attempt goes is Demario Douglas. Go figure.
Go figure.
Yeah, 100% success rate. I don't know what that means, but
interesting.
Yeah, I mean, he only rushed once for 5 yards, so it's not like they're handing the ball off to him. He got hurt this game, hitting the head, so great. No more injuries. They activated Riley Reef, old man Riley Reef, back off the injury list, and he played left guard, if I'm not mistaken, or right guard. I think it was right guard. And every time the ball was snapped, he was immediately stood up. So he looks like a shell of his former self, and he's a tackle that they bump back inside because he can't run. So, and we prefer him over Cole Strange, our first round pick, and we're still putting our 5th round pick over Cole Strange out there as well. Mike Onwenu didn't play, so he must still not be 100% healthy. He's supposed to be a Pro Bowl player, like I've said, so that is wonderful. So now that Demario Douglas is hurt, and who knows when he'll be back, we're looking at no speed on offense, no power in the running game. Mac Jones, who I defended last week, is now part of the problem, but is definitely not the main problem. What has happened, I think, is that the problems surrounding him have now created problems in him, which is what happened last year. And people are already calling for his head, and Rich Eisen went even so far to say is that Caleb Williams would look really good in a Patriots uniform. And I look, I fell in love with Mac Jones the second he was drafted for New England. I thought he was perfect. But what has surprised me and what has hurt me is that he thought New England was going to be like Alabama in the sense that like everything behind the scenes is tight knit and kind of there's a defined power structure and people are working their butt off studying and all this other stuff, trying to, be professionals about everything. And he said that his expectations were actually not met, and that there was a lot less structure and a lot less go-gettedness, I guess. I don't know how else to put it in the locker room. You know, he went so far as to say a couple weeks ago, he said, we all need to get here early and we need to do it together, meaning there's only a few of them who are willing to put in the time, you know, and I'm hearing that Mac and Juju are practicing together sometimes. I mean, this is just an absolute dumpster fire. And
I can't remember if it was Rich Eisen who said it. It's one of those guys, but it's like, maybe he's not the problem, but he's not the solution.
Yeah, somebody did say that. I did hear somebody say that. Right now, he's definitely not the solution as far as, but Mac Jones is the type of player. To me, he's like Brock Purdy. He is and Tua. He's a direct result of the coaching and the talent around him. If you put Mac Jones on the 49ers, if you put Mac Jones on the Dolphins, I think he is in the MVP conversation in both of those situations. And if you put Tua and Brock Purdy in New England setup, I think they're struggling just as much, if not more, than Mac is.
That's fair.
I can't. So I really can't blame Mac outright on this stuff, you know. And
it doesn't seem like a skill set issue.
No,
you know?
No, his skill set is built for the way New England wants to, at least has built this team. You know, his best asset is his brain, and his best throws are intermediate throws. And when you have two tight ends that are supposed to be above average, which Hunter Henry definitely is, and I think Mike Gesicki is being underutilized, you know, and then you have a lot of possession type receivers, which make their living in the middle of the field, plus a jump ball guy, which Mac has an underrated deep ball, I think. But the bottom line is, if he can't get any help, we have played complementary ball in the sense that the offense does poorly, and then the defense does poorly, and then the special teams does poorly. And it's just snowballed into just an absolute travesty of a situation sitting here at 1-4. I was a little weary picking the Raiders for next week when I picked them last week, but I am uber confident in that pick now. So I don't expect anything to change anytime soon.
What I find fascinating is the stats about Bill Belichick's, with, like, you know, last week was his biggest loss deficit ever, and then this week was, you know, his second largest at home.
Right.
You know, it just kind of shows how bad things have gotten.
Right.
It does make me wonder, is, you know, I wouldn't say that Bill Belichick's on the hot seat right now, right?
Right.
Like, realistically, people are mad at him probably.
For sure.
But, you know, but is this his, like he says he didn't mean to start over, right? Is this his last chance at a start over? Like, if he does like a reset, whatever, new quarterback, whatever, is this his last chance?
I don't know. My thing is, I don't know what his feeling on all of this is. I really don't. I obviously if you look, I mean, the meme that came out of the Cowboys game was him, you know, wiping his face like, oh my gosh, this team is so bad, you know. And I feel like more so than anything is that he has decided to put all of his assets into the defense, which I can appreciate, because if we were 100% healthy, this defense would be insane. But we're not healthy, and part of that is his own fault for leaving Matt Judon out there. I will give flowers to J.C. Jackson. He played a decent game. He had Chris Olave on lockdown for a lot of the game, so good job coming off the bench from Los Angeles and coming over here back to New England and picking up where you left off, kid. So good job, J.C. Jackson. But that's about the only positive thing that came out of this game, to be completely honest with you. I mean, the defense didn't even looked porous. You know, first game without Matt Judon and Gonzalez on the field, and it showed. So as far as what your question is to Bill Belichick, I think you got to give the keys of the organization as far as GM type stuff goes to Matt Rule. Not Matt Rule. Gosh, not Matt Rule. Matt Groh.
That rule sucks.
He's making a return.
Matt Groh.
Not to Carolina.
Matt Groh, who's the guy who heads up our drafting and that sort of thing. So I would recommend for next season allow Matt Groh, and I'm not saying Bill Belichick should be completely stymied or left outside, because his knowledge is invaluable, but we don't need more yes men, if you know what I'm saying. We need guys that have independent opinions. I want Bill O'Brien to identify some offensive talent for us. I mean, it's not that hard when Marvin Harrison and Brock Bowers are on the board. So, I mean, there's some really good players on offense that are going to be available next season. And I really hope that they take the opportunity to make a little, some people have said, is it time to do a rebuild? And I don't know if it's time for a rebuild, because I think the middle class of this team is really decent. It's just we don't have any of those top flight players in the skill positions.
Again, your defense, again, if everyone was healthy, would be really good.
Yes. So
it's just the offense is kind of just nowhere too. So
I think adding a speed running back that could catch the ball, and then a receiver that people have to worry about, that alone would make this offense immensely better with a completely healthy offensive line. So I feel like they're 3 players away: a right tackle, a receiver, and a dynamic speed running back away from
what's Mac Jones' contract? Because he's still in his rookie.
Yeah, we haven't decided whether we're picking up his 5th-year option. I'm sure after, if it was the decision had to be made right now, I'm sure they wouldn't do it. But Mac Jones has a lot of time to make up for it, and I think he's the type of person that is very intent on winning and very intent on self-improvement and that sort of thing. So I am at no point, unless Mac Jones is hurt, giving the keys to Zappy this season.
Oh yeah, well, Bailey Zappi's looked not good.
No,
either time he's gone in.
Even if he looked, I mean, he would have to look like lights out for me to be at all swayed. So, but he is not. Let me put it this way: Zappy's given the coaches no reason for him to supersede Mac, and I don't think the coaches will do that. So, cheers to the Patriots fans. I hope you don't turn into bandwagoners and go watch other teams. And I'm sorry that Brady isn't in the league anymore, so you can't go watch the Bucks. Although the Bucks are an entertaining team right now. I would just.
Some people are saying that Baker Mayfield is the next Tom Brady.
Oh goodness,
so, you know,
jeez. But in the spirit of thanking and recognizing that the success of our last couple pods can be attributed to the Taylor Swift effect, we have our first pod that is hit over 300 views. So I wanted to give a quick golf clap to that. In spirit of that, and in the spirit of also wanting to put Taylor Swift in the title again, I thought it would be prudent to pick a Taylor Swift song to describe, at this point in the season, our team. I'll start with Hound. Hound, if you were a Taylor Swift fan and you were going to put a song from Taylor Swift that would be the current theme song of the Kansas City Chiefs season, what song would that be and why?
So the song that I think best describes the Chiefs right now is a Yodel song released in 2020. Was actually not even published with an album. It was just a single. Anyways, it's called Only the Young, because the biggest talk has been with the Chiefs about, one, how young their defense is. It's one of the youngest in the league, and they're doing amazing. But then secondly, how young their wide receiver group is. Because I was doing a little research, and if you look at the Chiefs' top 8 receivers, okay? Top 8 people who have caught the football, which, I mean, that's a lot, right? Like, if you go 8 down for most teams, you're talking about people who you've never heard of. And anyways, with the Chiefs, in their top 8 receivers, which includes Kelsey, only 2 of them are 28 years old or older. 6 of them are younger than that. And that includes multiple guys who are, 2 of them, I believe, are 23, and 2 of them are 24.
Jeez.
So you're talking about a very young group. And that's not even, like, Kadarius Toney's not even in those top 8 receivers. So, like, yeah, it's crazy. We've got a young group. They're not, you know, if you're going to say right now, are they amazing? Not really. But I think they do have a lot of potential. Rashee Rice has been getting better every game. He's been getting more involved every single game. So, like, that's a very intriguing option for us. So it'll be interesting to see. You know, when you're paying Patrick Mahomes a lot of money and Chris Jones maybe a lot of money, you've got to be cheap in other places, and the best way to be cheap is to get players young. So anyways, only the young, I think, perfectly describes this Chief team.
I love it. LB, is there one of the sad love songs amongst Taylor Swift's repertoire that seems to fit your 0-5 Panthers?
You know, it's funny. I'm looking at the, you know, Taylor Swift Wikipedia, which is something I never thought I'd ever do in my life. But, you know, here I am. And
This
funny
is
enough,
sports research.
exactly. Funny enough, there's like 7 different songs that perfectly fit the Panthers. But the one that I think kind of sums it all up is the song titled "You're on Your Own, Kid." And that's got a double effect, I think. 1 also for Bryce Young, but 2 for Adam Thielen, both on offense. I think that one sums it up. It came off of her, I guess it was Midnight's album in 2022. She also has another song called Carolina, funny enough.
There you go.
And then there's another song called Deja Vu, which, if any Panthers fan is watching and listening, the last 5 years, bro, come on.
It's been tough.
It's been terrible. And then the last one, this one's my favorite, is Don't Blame Me. Because, hey, if anybody listened to the pod in the offseason, I told y'all what we needed to do. I told you this. I told you that. Y'all didn't listen. We're 0-5. Hey, don't blame me, as the late, great poet, singer, songwriter, pop star sensation Taylor Swift had eloquently put it. Don't blame me.
I think you even in our mock draft, you were like, they're definitely going to pick Bryce Young, but I'm still going to pick CJ Stroud anyways.
There you go. And
hey, I got receipts longer than a CVS one. Okay, so don't come at me sideways. I know what I'm talking about. Boys.
That's awesome. Well, for the New England Patriots, I'm sure a lot of New England Patriots fans are singing a song from Evermore called "It's Time to Go" for Bill Belichick, but I disagree. I think that's just there's the fair weather fans and then what I call the recency bias fans who look at the last game and then apply it to the grand scheme of things. And I don't think getting rid of Bill Belichick is in Bill Belichick's words the best interest of the team. I don't think so. But
I think that's a nuclear option.
Right. I agree.
That's my thing. It's like, I think he has one more chance, realistically.
And I honestly, I do think Gerard Mayo would be an awesome head coach who is kind of been selected as the heir apparent. Yeah, because Lord knows that Bill O'Brien has given us no reason to make him the head coach.
Wait, isn't Bill Belichick's son on a coach?
Yeah, he's a co-defensive coordinator.
Imagine if they just promoted him after
the guy that's
keeping in the family.
The guy that was caught like practicing tongue exercises on the sideline. Yeah, no, I don't think so.
No, I mean,
but
did he get those tips from Zach Wilson?
He might have. He might have. The song that I do think actually, even though the lyrics aren't out yet, according to this Wikipedia website. It's from 1989, at least the album, and it says Taylor's version in parentheses. The song is called "Is It Over Now?" And as far as the 2023 season goes, I think it's over now. I think I think the only way we get back on track is if we win next week, which I don't think we will. And then we get this restart includes a spark on offense. And if we don't get it, then I think it is over now. I hate to say it, but I think the potential saving grace for our team, and New England Patriots fans are going to hate it when I say it, the last chance this offense has, I think, is Tyquan Thornton. And I'm not saying that he becomes this like 1,500-yard star receiver or anything, but he's a speed guy. He's tall. He will if you put him, Demario Douglas, and Kendrick Bourne on the field at the same time, that's the most speed New England has had on the field since Edelman and Brandon Cooks were on the field together in the preseason, to be fair, because Edelman got hurt. But when it was Amendola, Chris Hogan, and Brandon Cooks, that 2017 season where we lost to the Eagles after Brady threw for 500 in the Super Bowl. Can you imagine throwing for 500 yards in the Super Bowl and losing?
Ooh.
Wild.
And that's
wild.
I mean, I don't know for sure, but it sounds like Malcolm Butler got benched because he went to a concert, and it could have been Taylor Swift's concert the night before. So thanks,
true.
Taylor Swift, for costing us another Super Bowl, but we're spoiled anyways. We got 6 of them things, so I think I'm satisfied. But
oh man.
But yeah, Is It Over Now by Taylor Swift. And if there's no lyrics available here on the website, I would say my lyrics would say yes until next time. So that's my feelings on that. All right, well, it's about that time, the fun time, the time that I think everybody on the planet looks forward to. It's time for the meme of the week.
Meme. Approved.
So this meme of the week comes from one of the manliest men I ever known. This man is the type of man to go into a restaurant and order a steak with a side of steak. He is a man who has never eaten a vegetable. Al Michaels. He had a fun interview on CNN, and it's been making the rounds on social media. And man, apparently Al Michaels has never eaten a vegetable. The man with the buttery voice. I guess all the butter he puts on his steak and eggs is what gives him his great voice and makes him a great announcer. But yeah, everyone has been memeing and joking about Al Michaels' hilarious opinion on meat, on vegetables, on carrots specifically.
I like carrots.
Yeah. Al Michaels doesn't, and he's never tried one, but he hates it.
Man does not
and to be
need
fair,
vegetables.
It's interesting
to
that last week your take on the Kansas City Chiefs offense was that they needed to eat their vegetables. Apparently, Al Michaels doesn't think so. So he says Andy Reid continue to eat those, in Andy Reid's terms, those nuggies.
Those nuggies.
Yeah, continue to dip them in all the sauces and continue to call passing plays when you're up by 30 and enjoying the ability to run the ball but not calling the plays. So
yeah, I mean, hey, if Al Michaels and Andy Reid can be in a State Farm commercial, that would be amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Here we go.
There you go. There you go. Well, thank you. It's a little shorter meme of the week, but that's okay. I like short and sweet. We'll keep it simple and obviously
short, sweet, and salty.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. But now it's time to get to our dogs of the week. And I think we're going to see a theme here with some of the players that and coaches that have come up this week compared to last week. So we'll start with LB. LB, who's your dog of the week this week?
DJ Moore.
Ooh.
And this one pains me, fellas. This one pains me a lot because it was a primetime game. The Bears get their first win over the Commanders.
Hound in shambles.
Yes, I was really hoping they would break the record for longest losing streak.
Well, at this point, Carolina might go on and set it, bro. I mean, we're hey, that might be something to look out for. But yeah, the world got to see what Panthers faithful got to see over the last 3 or 4 seasons, and DJ Moore and how good of a receiver he is. I've been screaming it from the rooftop since he was drafted. Obviously, Carolina's been garbage, and they're not a premier team, so they don't get the national coverage. So when you have guys play well, they're not going to get that coverage either. But anyways, DJ had 8 catches for 230 yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean, come on. What more can you ask for?
Fact.
The guy was all over the field. And to make matters even better, I'm gonna dovetail this into the Panthers trade talks on wanting to go get a receiver. Bro, whoever we go get's gonna be a Walmart version of this guy.
Facts.
I mean, what are we doing? And again, I got the receipts. Check my CVS long one. You know, I got it this offseason. Why are we trading a guy away, first of all, and then we're going to go trade to get a guy when we had this dude on our roster? It just doesn't make sense. So shout out DJ Moore, making Justin Fields look good, getting the Bears their first win. Sorry, Hound. But yeah, he had a great night.
Whoever the Panthers GM was that decided to trade DJ Moore, Christian McCaffrey, pick Bryce Young, is not having a good track record right now.
No,
he's awful. Scott Fitterer, you're a bum. I hope you hear this. at Scott Fitterer. Please put that in the description when we post this on YouTube. He's trash. Bum.
He's a different type of dog of the week.
Yeah, he's a bum.
He's dog water of the week.
Seriously. I just go ahead and mark him down for that every week.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Well, it's my turn. And it pains me to do it a little bit because this is kind of what I thought Mac would become. But my dog of the week, looking down the throat of the top defensive player in the league and a high-flying defense in general, looked him dead in the eyes and said, I'm putting 40 up on you. Brock Purdy is my dog of the week. He was 17 of 24, so that's just over 70% completion percentage, 252 yards passing. That's a 10.5 average per completion, 4 tutties, no interceptions, and a near perfect passer rating, 144.4. And that's against a Dallas defense which has been swarming the ball and looking absolutely insane. Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence, who I won't forget, and I'm a bot for forgetting to pull it out of the last pod, so I apologize. I got some comments about that, so thanks for that. So
Stephon Gilmore too.
Yeah, Steph Gilly, yeah, for sure. That Malik Hooker and some of the guys that they have in the secondary are good players. Bland is a good player. You know, they got Van Der Esch and a handful of other linebackers there that are decent players. So that's no joke. No joke, that defense. And 49ers put 42 on them boys. And in a playoff game, I don't think this would be so lopsided. I think the playoff game would be different because I think the Cowboys kind of gave up by the second half just because of how far down they were at that point. But bottom line is, you know, you only get 24 attempts and you still find a way to put up 252 yards. And I don't know if they practiced it or if they just saw it and just said, you know what, we like that play, we're going to run it. Basically in the same part of the field as the Lions ran the flea flicker play against the Panthers, the 49ers did the same exact play. And I mean the same exact play, almost on the same exact place of the field, and it was the same result. It was a touchdown for the tight end. So congratulations to the 49ers. If you're so good that you can watch a play right before the game and then reenact it and do it just as good, if not better, then congratulations on just being dogs. And Brock Purdy, you got veins of steel. Yep. So congratulations to what was our dogs of the week? We had did I not do you, Hound?
Yo, you skipped me.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
That's fine.
I'm so sorry. Go ahead. Oh, I'm such a bot. All right, go ahead.
You thought my meme of the week that I was just going to pick Al Michaels as dog of the week. But no, my dog of the week is Nathaniel Hackett, offensive coordinator of the Jets and former head coach of the Denver Broncos, beating his former team and beating, more importantly, Sean Payton this week. All week, there was a lot of tension because during the offseason, Sean Payton was just trashing Nathaniel Hackett. And then you had Aaron Rodgers defending Nathaniel Hackett and all this drama. And wow, Nathaniel Hackett has gotten a lot of criticism from the media over the last 14 months. But this week he came out on top versus Sean Payton and made him look the fool. So anyways, dog of the week to Nathaniel Hackett. Probably won't be in a couple weeks, but this is his week. So anyways.
All right. Well, I was about to say congratulate all the dogs of the week, and I was like, wait a minute, why do I only remember 2?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
So I'll put a little extra sauce on yours then. Congratulations to Brock Purdy, to DJ Moore, and to the great and mighty Nathaniel Hackett as
second best offensive coordinator in the league.
Yes, sir.
After Matt Nagy.
Dogs of the week. And before we go, it's prediction time. We get to talk about how bad New England and the Panthers are going to lose. So
yep.
We predicted that the Broncos would lose to the Chiefs 30-16. The Panthers would lose to the Dolphins 49-16. And then I said the Pats would lose to the Raiders 23-20 in overtime. Our picks thus far, as our records go, Hound is now 4-1. Just like his Kansas City Chiefs. The Carolina, so LB is 3-2 after this week. And then I am also 3-2 because I said the Pats would beat the Saints, and they didn't. So
yeah, they got worked over pretty good.
Yeah, that's putting it very, very lightly. So what do we got as far as games goes, guys? I was trying to look it up and I didn't get a chance to. So
the Chiefs are playing the Chargers.
All right, let's hear it.
So I believe the Chiefs are going to beat your beloved Chargers, guy. 27-24. I think it'll be close, obviously, but I think we'll still pull it out. It's at home, so that'll be nice. And we have a long week because we play Thursday night against the Broncos this upcoming week. So, I think it'll be good.
Excellent. LB, who do the Panthers play the week after the Dolphins?
Well, we have a week 7 bye, so we're open that week. But guess what? We'll still find a way to lose. Someone will get hurt in practice, or something crazy will happen. Maybe the stadium will have an earthquake and it'll just cave in. Who knows? But
fair enough.
Is that really a loss? We'll find a way to lose.
At this point, maybe not.
That's funny.
Yeah, we're open.
Okay,
we'll find a way to lose that bye week as well.
All right, bye week, and I'll put an L.
Yes, it's no matter what at this point.
Right, for sure. New England is playing the Buffalo Bills, so we're losing 38-13.
Ooh.
Yeah. Josh Allen is going to make us look like idiots again. So, and he just makes Josh Allen plays against the AFC East teams anymore. So,
kind of true.
Yeah, he doesn't look like Josh Allen except when he's playing New England. So I'm tired of it. Or when it matters. He does come up. He does have like that clutch factor because it was kind of like they wanted to make a statement against the Dolphins a couple weeks ago and they did it. So,
well, he has the clutch factor in the regular season. Postseason, he still hasn't completely gotten there.
That's true.
Like he's done okay.
Yeah,
but he's been inconsistent.
That's true.
But
that's true. Okay, so we have New England losing to the Bills, and that would put us at 1-6. So lovely.
Thank you for listening to the No Punt Intended Sportscast. Be sure to check out the Thinking Hound and to like, share, and subscribe.